This is Senior Medical Officer Nicole Brennan. Medical is overwhelmed. We need help.
Okay, Dead Space Remake, now you have definitely got my attention with these new details that we've been given. Of course, you might have seen the official Dead Space gameplay trailer released just a few days ago, which is shown on screen, but I want to talk about the new details of this game that just makes me even more excited for this remake. I think the team doing this, for once, in AAA games is really passionate about what they're doing, and EA has surprisingly given them all the time they needed to make a fully complete remake as well as brand new missions and details coming in, so let's just get into it. Now, quick description of the game before we start. This project is a sci-fi horror classic that returns fully rebuilt from the ground up with elevated visual fidelity and 3D atmospheric audio that will make every single sound frightening and realistic to the bones. Everything you touch, the enemies touch, or simply that the wind and machines touch will make a different sound, and all of them will create an atmosphere that's only been seen in movies before, with things happening even if you're not there. From the frighteningly detailed rooms and workspaces of a slaughtered crew to the eerie atmospheric sounds of a desolate spaceship, it is said you'll explore a stunning sci-fi setting full of unpredictable and tense moments without interruption. This is where the new details comes in. Once you start this Dead Space remake, it will never ever stop, meaning there won't be any load screens, any cuts, and any crashes to make you quit the experience. Once it starts, you won't see a cut until the very end. So that also means that you will be able to visit the entire ship without limits, like a small open world where you can just wander around, fight different enemies, and even find secrets in different sections, which is just a really cool feature. You'll be able to see new environments, new navigation points, and new challenges thanks to this feature. This is elements like these that I love to see in remakes of games. It just makes the experience a whole lot better, I feel, without interfering with the original. Next thing they completely changed and made extremely detailed and gory is the dismemberment of enemies. The original had you dismember monsters in a cool way, but the developers have told this remake just makes it much more brutal. The devs told that the peeling and dismemberment system they have now is really cool and it adds a lot to the gameplay. It feels more dynamic and more strategic. Right when you start shooting, you see the skin and the flesh getting ripped from the enemy's body, and then you start to see the bones underneath, and then you can cut the bones and it cuts the limb, and so on. It looks amazing, but it also gives direct feedback to the player about the amount of damage that they're doing, they said. Continuing on, they're promising players this remake is not just an enhancement of graphics, because that would be too easy, but a complete evolution. They want to make sure they're starting with the original and staying true to that experience, and then they're giving us a lot more with it, with new missions, details, sections, and secrets. The goal was to make us feel like we're experiencing Dead Space again for the first time, if we were already a fan of the game. But it is said they also want to have the chance to give people who never played it the opportunity to have the definitive Dead Space experience, with a game that plays, that looks, that sounds like a modern game. Some characters who were a bit more secondary, who only appeared in audio logs like Dr. Cross, now the developers gave them some actual screen time in-game with new side quests, new missions and such, and they wanted to give a bit more background and agency to some of the characters from the cast like Nicole. So they're creating a whole layer of narrative side quests that will allow us to see, for example, what happened to Nicole during the outbreak. This is all sounding really cool, but of course we'll have to wait and see it all in action if it does well or not, because we're still talking about EA here, but who knows. Anyway, the game releases on January 27, 2023 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and PC. Make sure you guys support this video and subscribe for more.